We're lucky to have two great people here. One of them is our host, and another very important person from overseas. We're lucky to have him. He's a celeb of some kind.
Thank you.
Are you a celeb?
I don't understand that word, so I'm good to go.
It's good you agree.
Yeah.
Thank you. Welcome again for fascinating discussions and insights. On the right, we have Larry. In the middle, Samson. And I am Bidu. Larry,
Yes, sir.
let's start off with where it all began.
In the beginning, God said, "Let there be light," and there was light.
Sure.
And so we have light.
Now we have light, and Samson has come to shine the light of the study of witchcraft to us here. And we thought that if this brilliant gentleman travels all the way from Ghana and traverses all the big hurdles of the air and gets himself to Tromsø, then he should grace us with some of his light and share some knowledge with us.
Great. Yes, it's true. I work at the Gambaga alleged witches camp. We call it alleged witches because we're not sure whether somebody is actually a witch or not. So we bring the name alleged witches camp. And
Just a minute.
yeah,
Ibrahim, where did you two meet? Because there's a history. Let's start from the beginning of the journey. Where did you two meet? How did you meet? How did
That's
it
true.
all come together?
If I may say, I can recall that about 4 years ago that we actually met. That was around 2017 or so,
2018.
2018. Larry came to Gambaga. The good thing is that it is not easy to get me to do what I did for him that day. That always tells me something, and that is where it has brought us here. You come to Gambaga, you can't get me open up easily for you because we've treated people, we've seen how they have done their things, but for him in particular, it was easy. So I can remember, and he was very good to me too. And we had a lot of discussions. I sent him to the camp, and that was how it started. To my side, I don't know of Larry.
Larry, I guess this ties in with your academic journey and a research that you were carrying out.
Yeah.
So tell us a little bit about that.
You know, I just completed a master program and I was thinking of what to do. I decided to apply for a second master program. And then one of my former supervisors from the Peace and Conflict Studies here said, you know, I've been reading and I've been watching news on witchcraft. And you're going to take a second master. Would you think about writing a witchcraft topic for a PhD? Even though we don't have funding, but we are willing to be your supervisors for free. And so if you decide to do that, you know that at least you have two professors emerita who would help you. But boy, 3 years of PhD study without funding, it's going to be difficult. So that was the idea, was to solely work on witchcraft topic. But then when I realized that funding was going to be a problem, I decided to still continue with a second master degree in indigenous studies. So my first meeting with my then supervisor called Professor Olsen Toria, we tried to narrow down the topic from that big comparative Norwegian Ghanaian perspective on witchcraft to one aspect of the topic, which is on witch camps. And that is how come we settled on witch camp. The original idea was to compare 17th century Norwegian witchcraft trials and contemporary Ghanaian witchcraft trial. But because PhD was going to be big, then we kind of said, you know, let's do one part of it, which is to study the witch camp. And then so we decided to do Gambaga witch camp.
Samson,
Yeah.
what happens in the camp?
Yeah.
Who comes to the camp?
Yes.
And what services does it offer?
Exactly. That is why I was saying that I came there 2009. And when I started work, it was a bit difficult for me. But from there, I realized that these women needed help. Nothing, but they need some support. So from there, I opened up almost every information I had.
Let's, for the sake of our viewers, let's be a little bit specific.
Okay.
Because you're making reference to doing something for the women.
Yeah.
So who are these women? What are your clients?
In fact, actually, before I got there, I never knew that I was going to work with people they had accused as witches. It's not just ordinary.
How did they advertise the job?
Yes, the Presbyterian Church of Ghana, by then it was Northern Presbytery.
Okay.
That is the northern sector, which covered Gambaga, Bolgatanga, and all that. So when they did the advert, they did it in churches. I just went one Sunday and they read it out. This job, known as Presby Go Home project, was looking for the coordinator because the coordinator had gone on retirement. So I applied. Then when I got there, I realized that it was as a result of working with women accused of witchcraft. So we're about 6. But it was only me who said yes, I will work. So my clients are just like people, they have accused them of witchcraft. And it's difficult to work. Because when I entered there, almost everybody said, well, we live to see. And it wasn't easy for me too. But thank God I prevailed, and today I'm here to talk about it.
Okay, how old, what is like the age bracket of?
Yeah, they are very aged women. The youngest person in the camp can be around 60 or 58, 60, yeah, thereabout. And the very old person, in fact, she died last year.
How old was
She was around 99. Yeah, that was how I studied. And sometimes they themselves, they don't know their age.
Yeah.
Because during then, nobody recorded their birth date and all that.
Yeah.
So, but she was really old. Book, they called her. She died in the camp. And her story was very pathetic. She really wanted to go home. She told me severally, can you send me home? The people at his village said no. So when she was about to die, she told me, if I die, do my funeral here. Do not give my funeral to them. Which was what I did. He only showed me one guy who was not in Ghana. The guy was outside also.
Okay.
So he mentioned the guy's name and said, if he dies, if that guy should come, then I can release the funeral to him. Which we did. The guy finally came. So I think the work I do is really tough. It's not easy because everybody is afraid of a witch. And looking at our contemporary world there, everybody believes in witchcraft. So it's difficult.
Just to, the price you have to pay in order to do the job that you're doing.
Yeah.
The personal sacrifices.
Yes, the price is just that I love doing that. That is the price. And another thing that encouraged me so well was that a woman also took care of me in school. So I'm very proud of that. And I say it everywhere I go. So when I finished, I had love for women. Not alone these old ladies.
You love women?
Yes.
Oh, you're wonderful.
I love women.
Ah.
Anybody who is a woman, give me, I take you. Because you see, I feel that they are special. They do not actually joke with us. Oh, what do you mean by I love women? Because I don't get an impact in my life.
Okay.
So therefore, I wouldn't go back.
So what sacrifices did you have to make in order to?
One, the first sacrifice was that I needed to marry. I never got a girl. Because any girl who came my way will know that you are working with witches. They will run away. I could have left them. 2, even I have not continued with my education. Since 2009 till date, first degree, and that ends it. I've done some little one. In fact, I came there with an HND before I got the first degree. And I'm still there. Because sometimes I will ask myself, if I leave this place, if it is not something I can study in Gambaga, and I leave these women, how, even my presence, how is it? What about if I have to leave? That is the passion I have to do my job. 2, so it means I finally got married, but very late. Right now, I got 2 kids. One is around 3, and the other one is just within some 2 weeks or so.
Well, we need to say congratulations to
Yeah.
you on your second.
And I believe that blessings are now coming to me. People will see me one day, whether I get myself educated or not, I will become whom God has ordained me to. Because when you dedicate your life to support the vulnerable in society, I bet you the joy of my salvation.
You seem so passionate about
Yeah.
the job that you do. And that's quite interesting.
Yeah.
Witchcraft. What interesting insights have you gathered about witchcraft since you started the research all the way through to now?
Yeah. So yes, as I like to do. I mean, if you just, it's a rare opportunity to have him here in Tromsø, and he is the coordinator of one out of the 6 witch camps in northern Ghana, where people who are accused as witches run to seek for shelter.
Yeah.
And he's currently looking after 89 women, is it?
88.
8 women.
With 4 men.
Yeah, with 4 men. But I mean, for me, I have done some work in terms of historical witchcraft study in Ghana. And when I say historical, it means that I had gone into the trenches of the archives to understand what kind of practices was associated with witchcraft during the colonial times. And I must say something which is very positive, that unlike other parts of the world where we had a lot of bad written history by colonial people, I must say that the ones that I read in northern Ghana was pretty much decent. Some of the colonial officials were very honest. If they were writing about the history of anything, if they didn't have the full answer, some of them disclosed it. They said, I think that this is out of conjecture because I couldn't get these people to explain this. So they try to make you believe that they are writing what they saw, and sometimes they acknowledge their sources, that it was the head of this family who told me this. It was, So I think that this is one of the very special things that I found in the archives. But broadly, magic is one of the features of historical witchcraft, and I still believe it is in current times. The people you believe in 5 pillars of Islam, and we have 6 articles of faith, is it? It's the same. There was no way you could ever be at that time an African or a Ghanaian or a Northerner without the belief in witchcraft. And it was associated to be both positive and negative.
Quite interesting. I must tell the viewers at this point that we have another video where we interview an old lady that was in Gambaga witch camp, who was accused of being a witch. Quite an interesting video interview. You should go and watch. The link is down here provided. According to the lady, she's about 81 years old, and she cannot recall witchcraft or magic having had any positive connotation or image. And Larry, according to sources, historical sources, mentions that there are some positive aspects of it. So how can we explain this?
Honestly, books will tell you there's a positivity, but in reality, witchcraft has nothing positive when it comes to African witchcraft. Right?
Why would you say that?
Yeah, because I I've stayed with them for 14 years, and I have never seen even one person accused of witchcraft and they will clap for the person.
So,
Or they will say, oh, this your witchcraft is different from the normal witchcraft we know. It is something I don't believe.
But hold on.
Yeah.
Let me just challenge this point a bit. But of course, you still the guy in Gambaga.
Yeah.
Now I know that there's a chief priest in Gambaga.
Yeah.
If I say a chief priest, I mean somebody who
Yeah.
is in charge of the community rituals.
Yeah.
Alright? Is he a wizard or not?
Well, according to Sof, let me be honest with you, he is the Gambara.
Yes.
He is the chief I work with.
Mm.
And the tradition believes that he himself might be a witch
Okay.
or a wizard.
Mm.
And the reason is that not because he's a wizard, but he has the powers given to him by what he does,
Which makes him a wizard.
which makes him a wizard.
Because a wizard sees a wizard. A
Yes.
witch is a witch.
Yes.
A witch.
That's what I'm trying to say.
so
But
basically it's a matter of semantics.
Yes,
We're just referring to the
Yes,
same
but
thing.
his own is that
Yeah.
he has the gods that support him to be able to take care of the women in Gambaga. And that is why Gambaga people do not fear these women. But he himself has never mentioned to me in particular that there is good witchcraft.
So the point is that what the job that he is doing, can we safely assume that if he is using his work and his powers as the spiritual leader,
Yeah.
the supreme wizard,
Yes.
I'm giving this title, the supreme wizard,
Yeah.
to make sure that there is no negative energy in terms of witchcraft operating in the Gambaga. Is he not doing something good with his power?
No, that is not because he's a wizard. It is because of his gods. You see, that is the thing you must take note. You can become a chief and you are even not a witch. But the gods you perform, they do the work for you.
So they, okay.
If today you should become a chief of Gambaga, you might not necessarily be a witch. But the fact is that because of the gods you perform, they do everything. For instance, if you just come in Gambaga, we cannot see you like this and say you are a witch. No. He cannot do that. What he will only do, then is I've been doing that all the time, what he will do is to consult the gods. I want to know whether Larry is a witch or not. Then, if he's not getting, he has to slaughter a fowl. Throws it to the gods. From there, the gods will tell all of us, not him alone, all of us standing, whether you are a witch or not, whether you are a wizard or not. So I want you to know that there is nothing positivity when it comes to African witchcraft.
Quite interesting.
Yeah, but that is why I'm saying that it can be in books. But as far as I have stayed,
From your practical
Perfect.
real life experience.
But I'm going to narrate one interview with the son of the Gambara now.
yeah,
Supremo, he had told me one time that every night he flies in the airspace of Gambaga. So let me just make this clear. There are 89 women accused of witchcraft living in Gambaga in a shelter called Pakurafon, which means elderly women's settlement. For lack of a better description, the word witch camp has been used to describe the place. And I want to establish on record that we are using the word witch camp not because it is a camp that is imprisoning people, but as a way, as a shelter. But I like to say that I keep using this word as a way to still raise awareness about the fact that people are still beaten or threatened to be killed. If I said elderly women's settlement, elderly women's home, it will still take away the seriousness of the issue.
The message will
Yeah,
be
we
lost.
want to say.
So I have argued in my essay, in my book, that the naming is wrong, and I have made it clear that names have power, and if you label something with negative connotation, people are going to see it that way, right?
So,
Yeah.
come back to.
So Hamidu has been flying in the night, and he says that anytime he flies and he sees any witch or wizard in the airspace of Gambaga, he tells them, you know what? I'm giving you this warning. In this community, no witch is supposed to be flying around looking for people to hurt or harm. And if you are very recalcitrant and you come back the following day, when he sees you, he's gonna shoot you down.
Yeah.
Is he a witch or not?
Yeah, Larry, I mean, I think...
Or a wizard or not?
He's saying the same thing to me. I told you that, you see, if you are a witch in Gambaga, can you go and control malaria? That's the next time. But I'm saying that they have these powers because of the gods they perform. And let me tell you one thing, Gambarana is the spiritual leader of the whole Mampugu. He had over 660 gods that he performs. The witchcraft wing is just part. It's just one of the things they... So if he tells me he flies in the night and has the power to stop everybody, that is telling you that the gods are at work.
Okay, so let's get this clear.
Yeah.
Wherever they're flying, this is simply claimed.
Yeah.
We're not sure whether it happens or not.
And how it happens.
And how it happened. We cannot confirm that. And so we don't want to mislead our viewers.
Sure.
But secondly, there's something interesting here.
Yeah.
There's someone performing something that seems not to be normal.
Yeah.
Something that seems supernatural.
Yeah.
And he associates this or claims the source of his authority or power to be the gods. So now, just a quick question to Larry.
Okay.
Because we're talking of a wizard, we're talking of a witch.
Yeah.
They both seem to, according to, let's use the common assumption.
Yeah.
They both seem to possess powers that don't seem natural and understandable to the average person. So could it be because he kind of denies that witchcraft is possible?
Yeah.
But we have two people here. Could it be the difference in the sources of their power, where they draw their powers from, or where they kind of have the loyalty directed to?
Yeah.
Could it be the difference?
Yeah, there's something that they say that if dog bites dog, right, it's no news. If dog bites a human, then it's news.
What if a man bites the dog?
So if you use your witchcraft to do good, it's no news. If you use your witchcraft to do bad, then it is news, right? So there are a lot of people who are, as I said, we don't have any claim for this, only historical. That, in fact, even one of the people that I interviewed in Gambaga believes that, even contemporary, that witchcraft is both positive and negative. That there are some families that are very proud of it. That in a house, we have witches. They tell it, they say, look, in our house we have witches, you can't do us anything. He narrated a story of where two people were fighting, and the other one said, you will see. I mean, like a threat, in a very flamboyant word. When somebody tells you will see, it means that you should be ready for fight. And according to the guy, one of my interviewees, he told me, no sooner had someone said that to the lady she was fighting with, a woman came out of the house, and the other woman was jubilating. He said, you think you can do me, you can harm me? This is also our family, which try me and see. So they believe that someone also protects them.
I get your point.
In a positive way.
You see, I get your point, but that is not what I mean. And even that, families who claim to be powerful and protect their family, go and ask them. They don't want anybody to come closer to it. They will tell you it is bad. Witchcraft is bad. And I mean it is bad. You see, it's a spirit. According to what I have seen or what I've heard it. Because I'm of them. This spirit, when it comes to you, it will do you more harm than good.
So it's kind of establishing an alliance with some spirits.
Yes.
It gives you power. I like to see the power side.
Yes.
You know.
You see, the power you are talking about is still distraction.
Okay.
There is nothing like power that will come and you use the power and it will be good for you. No, it is to destroy someone.
Okay, so
Now he said something. He said something that they say, oh, you try and see. Try and see. What does that mean?
That if you are going to harm me,
Harm you for what?
I have a protector. Because
The protector is to do what? It's still the same thing I'm telling you.
And what will be the effect of her doing something? It will be defending you. Would that not be a positive thing?
Okay, I think we'll move on. Otherwise,
So something I want to ask something.
Yeah.
In your interaction with women and all having stayed in the northern Ghana, how is witchcraft acquired?
Yeah, witchcraft actually is acquired in three folds. One is by inheritance. If your mother, your grandmother, or your grandparents, or anybody in your family has ever been a witch, that is how witchcraft is acquired. Another thing is that you don't pick things in the north. You don't pick things on the ground anyhow. When you see them down, you can get witchcraft without knowing. And the third one is that people willingly go for. You might not be related to witchcraft, but if you want it, they can still give it to you.
Okay.
Yeah.
Just a quick question. What is credible from what is not? Because picking up things and then
Oh, there are some clear things they have
it's
mentioned.
more of superstition or
Yes, no, there are clear things they have mentioned. For instance, there are rings. If you see it, I don't know, it's because it's here. But locally, there are some rings. You see them and you don't touch it. Right? It's very clear. There are some things in the north. When you see them, you don't pick it. If you are fond of picking it, you get witchcraft. There are some bundles they wear.
I hope mine is not included.
Oh no, these are modern things you are wearing. I'm talking about the real bundles.
Yeah.
When you see people intentionally leave it, oh, it's credible. It's credible. This is something, well, I don't know, but it's not scientifically proven, but it is credible. People, I mean, even myself, my mom told me this when I was young. My grandmom told me when I was young. So it is very, I mean, before I even grew, I knew that you don't have to pick A, B, C. So,
okay, so would there be like anything documented showing that maybe this number of people picked?
yeah, you know, that is the
therefore
difficulty about witchcraft. And that is why even to prove that I am a witch is a problem. Anything concerning spirituality is always difficult. You see, that is why we are fighting for the women. Because we think that when you are accused, there should be some kind of little chance for you to also prove yourself a bit. But the thing is so strong that when you are accused, they will start attacking you. Somebody can go and drink, already was targeting you as a witch. It will come and the whole thing is beating you up to confess that you are a witch. You know, these are the things that
So
we
let's
have.
come back to the camp. I mean, let's come to one of the main stomach of the issues, as we say.
Yes.
We know that if anybody runs to the camp, or if someone is brought to the camp, there's a ritual that is performed.
Yeah.
What is it called? How is it done?
When you come to the camp, the ritual that you will first go, there are two types of rituals in the camp. That is when you are going home and when you come. The first one, when you come, there is always an argument. You are a family, Larry is a family. I am with you, I have been accused. Right? You are my family member. Will you agree? You will support me. Larry will also come with his family members. Then the first thing we have to do is to go and prove my innocence or otherwise. We'll go to the priest, who is also the Gambaga, the chief of Gambaga, the whole. So when we get there, what we need to do is to either prove my innocence or otherwise. Now, the process is that I have to buy my fowl. Larry too have to buy his fowl. I will talk to my fowl. If I'm a witch, if they slaughter this fowl, please, gods, do not accept. But if I'm innocent, please accept my fowl. Then I'll hand it over to the priest.
The one with the other fowl. You said 2 of us.
I have finished with my own. I'll give it to the chief. He will slaughter and throw it to the gods. My fowl will dance. If it lies at the stomach, I am guilty. If it lies at the back, I am free. You too, you will come and say, if actually it was this man who bewitched me, fowl, accept.
Okay.
If he did not bewitch me, do not accept.
And they do the same.
They do the same, then they flow. Then if we slaughter and my fowl accepts, it means that Larry, maybe any witch can bewitch him, but it is not me.
So how can we rule out? Because it seems like it could be a game of chance, like gambling.
Yeah.
Probability.
Yeah.
Gambling. So
See,
how could we rule out?
No, it's the belief of the people. That is why it's difficult for myself and you. Because we might not believe in that. But they believe that you. Now, after the fowl has answered, if I'm through, you will see me jubilate with my family back home. Nobody can touch me.
Can I ask them to pay me some compensation for accusing me?
Well, that is in the law course, but not in the priest place.
Let's say what a ritual,
Now, the second ritual, let me finish then. The second ritual is when you are going home. If your people come to ask about you. You see, the beautiful thing about it is that when your people come to ask about you, the chief might release you to them. That's the beauty I have seen in Gambaga. He will not say, I won't give you because you are in the camp. No. Then they have to do the second performances. And that is, there should be a sheep. They will slaughter the sheep and a fowl. The fowl is just to give it to the gods again and say, look, this time around, Larry is going home. Please tell us what. And then you see the gods accept that, Larry is supposed to go. Then the sheep will now be killed and the meat will be shared.
The meat will be shared to who?
I mean, to those in Gambaga, and the families and everybody, to signify that you are going home. And then they'll shave your hair and give you something to drink. And then the families at home are good to accept you because you have passed through the purification.
One clarification. So when your first foul, as you say, does not accept, when your first foul proves that in court that you are a witch or a wizard and you sleep or you are handed into
the camp,
there is no process of de-witching.
No. That one you are just in the camp.
So they didn't make the camp as a witch?
When you are in the camp, the gods will make you can't fly.
But as soon as you leave the camp, the power comes to you?
Yes. That is the aspect of it.
So the assumption is those that the fowl that was slaughtered shows that they are witches.
It will show whether you are a witch or not.
If it shows that you are a witch, then you
Yes.
stay in the camp.
Yes. There are some things they'll collect from your family. That includes a white cloth and some few things I might not be able to mention. And that will keep you. They will send all these things and open the doors and keep it there. And you have no powers.
So no, you need to clarify. You need to unpack this for us.
Yes.
Because normally what we see in the media and the videos and what we read even, we don't get into the details of this. The idea is that I come, I kill a fowl, my fowl does not accept, I still a witch, there's no bewitching. The Magajia is called like the queen. She picks me and I go. And the idea is that even though I've not been bewitched, I still keep my witchcraft powers.
The fact is that no, not so. Immediately you are now going to the camp to stay. I told you they'll collect a white cloth and some items.
From who?
From the woman. The family of the woman.
And they have to do it instantly?
Instantly. When they're quite big, if not so, you can't stay in the camp. All the women have passed through that. They'll collect these things and they will go. I don't know how exactly they do it because I'm not privy to. But there's a way they will perform to keep you. That is why when you are now going, they will go back to the same gods and say, this so woman was here. Now she's to go. Please release him or release her to go.
Okay, so if
Do you get me?
If the fowl proves that you're a witch and a ceremony is performed to accept you in the camp, keep in the camp, when you or your people choose to accept you back home,
Yes.
another ritual is performed.
Yes.
The one that you explained.
Exactly.
Okay, so
Exactly.
the witches in quotes, because they're not.
Yeah,
not
yeah.
saying
Oh,
that-
oh, let's go.
So they still have a chance to get back home.
Yes.
Beautiful.
Yes.
Now, an interesting thing, right from when you got the job, it was advertised by a church,
Yeah.
Presbyterian church.
Yes.
So the camp is run by the church.
Yes. The Presbyterian.
The humanitarian part of it.
Yes.
Okay.
We call it a Presby Go Home project. And this project is just to protect the rights of the women and to advocate for them. Yeah.
So, could whatever they are doing in the camp, could it be like an endorsement of some kind for witchcraft and cleansing rituals?
Yeah.
Could it be?
We are talking about the Presby Go Home.
Yeah.
Yeah, some people see us so, but that is not it. Our major aim is that they are human first. Whether you are a witch or not, we don't have any problem about that. And that is why we also pray for them. We have a counseling session for them to tell them that yes, if this is what is happening, somebody can pray, somebody can help you, and you will get your salvation. We also allow, if you're a Muslim, good, we have Islamic clerics, we invite him. All these things we do. But our major aim is that they are human beings. They are not animals. Yes, you can have witchcraft spirit in you, but in the first place, you are a human being. So we deal with that. We don't deal with about whether you are a witch or not.
Okay, that's quite interesting and
Yeah.
quite positive because it's human first.
Exactly.
Before you look at
The any
other
spirit that is
accusations and
exactly.
stories and endorsements.
Exactly.
Larry, and Samson, I'm thinking of a situation where somebody is brought to the camp, not brought, has fled to the camp because they don't usually
Yeah,
just
they
come.
run themselves
Can't go-
sometimes.
yeah. So they flee to the camp. Ceremony is carried out, either shows they are a witch or clean and can therefore either go back home or stay in the camp. I'm looking at the theory of labeling. Like sometimes you could be, because this could be a game of chance. The foul could be a game of chance. You may not be a witch when it shows that you are.
Yeah.
Is there a possibility of someone out of the labeling and out of the ceremony that proves them to be a witch? How does this psychologically affect these people? Is it possible to take them to a point where they now accept that they are witches? And how could that impact
Yeah,
on their psychology?
this is brilliant.
And also, I'm going to add a second
This is
question.
brilliant.
In your operation in the camp, have you had any encounter with any woman who has said that she is indeed a witch?
Acknowledge.
Acknowledges,
Yeah.
or acknowledges and
Yeah.
confirms what the ritual has said.
Severally. That one I have got it severally. But that is even not what, I mean, the question you ask. You see, the people in this region, everybody believes in the ghost. They don't believe the ghost can tell lies. So if you are telling us that it is by chance, then yeah, because I also, for me as a person, that is not my area. But I have witnessed about so many of them, the foul will accept, and they'll go back home. So you see, it might not be the best, but for now, that is the solution, which I support. Do you get it?
Yeah.
Because that is the solution.
I'm just interested.
And as you are saying, whether it's a lack or not, that is not what I can think. Because the ghosts, as they believe it, do not tell lies. If you are innocent, they believe that the ghost must prove that you are innocent. You see how it is? It's complex.
Yeah, it is quite complex
Ah.
in the sense
So
that
maybe.
ordinarily we talk of labeling X, indeed X.
Yes.
But in
Yes.
this case,
Yes.
there's
Yes.
a kind of reinforcement.
Yeah.
The gods are in the picture,
Yes.
and the gods do not lie.
Yes. That
So
is the
when you
belief.
get labeled,
Yes.
in addition to the
Automatically-
label affecting you psychologically,
Yes.
there is also the reinforcement of the labeling.
But that is why we come in strongly here. That is why we want to give you counseling. But it is only God who will know the truth one day to come. So therefore, don't kill yourself. Right? Some want to kill themselves. Somebody will come to the camp and refuse to drink water because the ghost has proving that he's a witch. Maybe he is thinking he's not.
Just out of curiosity, has anyone ever, God forbid, has anyone ever succumbed as a result of going on either hunger or water?
Severally. In fact, severally. One woman, what happens is that they don't kill themselves in the camp, but they run away. And then she has taken something, he runs away, then you hear that she's dead. That's happened.
It has been 2 cases, historical. There's one case, I think in 1932, where and at first he was taken to the shrine, and the shrine, according to the native doctor, he said the guy was a wizard. And he was asked, I think I said this again, how did you know that he's a wizard? And he said, because I am one.
Yeah.
When I went to learn and went to my tutoring, they inducted me into the Hall of Fames of Wizards. And so when I see one,
you know.
Like it takes X to recognize X.
But it pained this 89-year-old so badly that he took his own life.
Yeah, so really.
That now brings me to my next.
You are talking about
question.
Just excuse me. You are talking about 1932. Yeah. I am saying that this. What is it? Was it in August? 2022.
Yeah.
2 people died in Bolga. That's what it said. The case is still in the. I mean, these are things you can follow up.
I mean, somebody committed suicide, or
2 people.
They took their own life.
They went there, and the man said they were witches. They said he had not, 2 of them, that they are not witches. You know what happened? He gave them something. If you know you are not a witch, drink. The man went, took it, finished. The woman went and took it, she died there.
And the man?
Before the man could reach home, he also died. So they have arrested these people as we speak.
So they gave him poison?
Poison? I don't know. That was what happened. They died, the 2 of them.
But see, this is story also historical. I'm going to go back to. So it's good that you're bringing this because we want to find out how culture has changed or has not changed also. There's a case closer to that, I think. So, like the work I have done recently on archival work spans from 1930 to 1937. And within this period was a similar case during the colonial time. And a woman, so initially, let me just say this. There's what we call tribal ordeal.
Yeah, that is what is going on, sir.
It happened in Europe. In Europe, they will just tie your hands and throw you into the sea or into a water body. If you float up, you're not a witch. If you sink, you die and you are a witch or a wizard.
How can you float up in water?
So, obviously, you need to know your techniques of breathing. But so let's come to the substantive. So, but this is a European version, right? But our people, the people from Gold Coast, then, they used to give a tree called the neem tree. It's a very bitter tree, and some people use it to cure fever and malaria. They give you the bark of a neem tree with some herbs. You drink it. If you vomit it out, you're not a witch. If you don't vomit it out, it stays in your stomach, it becomes poison, and you die off. So it happened, one lady died, and the case was taken to the Provisional Council. We have like a council for colonial officers who look into cases that is brought to them for appeal, you know. The district commissioner was incensed. It was a case in Winneba. He was incensed. He asked that the body be exhumed and an inquisition be done on the body.
Good.
And the medical doctor who did said her stomach was lining by poison. And so, if somebody drinks something, we should be able to find now biologists or lab technicians to check the substance and the chemical.
But they even refuse the people pay.
Now, quick question.
Yeah.
The people that administer these drinks or these rituals, what are they?
Yeah, you know, that is why the Gambaga priest is completely different. This is somebody they call witch doctor. And some of them do not even know anything about it. You see? So I said that earlier that the Gambaga one is not the best. But as far as I am concerned, it even helps to keep the human refuge, like a pure heaven, where a refuge heaven where people can come and stay. When you are accused and your life is threatened.
So,
but those who do this, it's a crime. I said that they refuse to give them bail. They are still in the police. In the police custody.
okay, now back to the question of how the witches, who mainly are, other than the families that say this is a witch because they harmed my son, who else is tasked with the powers of unraveling or uncovering?
As far as I am concerned, it is the chief of Gambaga who can determine whether you are a witch or not by simply throwing it at us.
Official recognized.
It's not officially recognized.
Okay,
Unofficially. This is custom law. Yeah.
Are there other people that do the same?
Yeah, people do. People do.
Who are they?
Yeah, that is why I was telling witch doctors. We have them dotted all over. We even have some pastors who say they can know whether you are a witch or not. We have some madams who say they can know whether you are a witch or not. All these things that happens.
For the purpose of maybe our viewers who don't know what malam is, who's a malam?
They are Islamic clerics.
Because pastor is clear,
yes.
malam is not.
Yes.
So
that's what I'm saying.
Yeah,
Islamic clerics. Let me not say Islamic clerics. Self-acclamated Islamic clerics. Because you see, the Islamic religion is very clear about it. There was a time I wanted to visit the National Chief Imam of Ghana, which I'm still pursuing it. I want to visit him because I want him to give us his blessings. That if you are a Muslim, there should be a way out if you are accused as a witch. You get me? Because in the Quran, in their Quran that they believe, there should be a way out. Because nothing has happened today that has never happened.
I think I'll arrange that. We'll go with Souk to National Chief Imam, inshallah. When I come in December,
I will be happy. Because you know what? The National Chief Imam is somebody I respect. And he has always done good things.
Beautiful. So now this brings us to the question of the relationship between culture and this mainstream religion, Christianity and Islam, mainly. So, a pastor uncovering witches, an alleged Islamic cleric, Imam, Malam, uncovering witches. Like, how can you explain the relationship between the culture, African traditional religion, and this?
Yeah, I mean, it is something that scholars have described as syncretism.
Syncretism.
And that has to do with combining different beliefs and so on. And I think that is what happens in Gambaga one, because I can personally attest, maybe not the chief, but I've seen the chief's son. I'm a Muslim. I have prayed with him when I visited Gambaga before.
And he's a wizard that flies.
And he's that same person who flies in
this is interesting.
the airspace
at night
and protects these people. Yeah. You know? So it's a very complex thing to understand, because I know that Islam also has its specific rules about not like Tawheed, not associating Allah with anyone, to believe in Qadr, like to believe in decree, higher yourself, like good or bad, and that wala tajassasu, like you do not be people who are very inquisitive and trying to spy on another.
So quite interesting, just to interject, so that you can continue along the same line.
Yeah.
Religion. Christianity, Islam, African traditional religion or culture. How does what we just explained give credence to the claims that sometimes you can see this on TV, in the media, social media, whatever kind of media you see this. Like a group is accused of something, and then the group answers back by saying, this is not our way of life. This is simply just culture disguised as our way of life. Like for instance, Muslims disowning what people do, or Christians disowning what people do, saying these are cultural practices disguised as.
To defend themselves.
So I will take.
How does
So
this?
let me take the Christian part, and then if there's time, I can come into this. When missionaries started operating in Ghana in the colonial times, there was some tension, and the tension was purely to the fact that when people that at that time they called pagans, which is a very contentious word to use now in modern language, but they called people who were not Christians as pagans. When they become Christians, the church at that time, mostly Catholic Church, and then there was a Wesleyan mission.
The Orthodox churches.
The Protestant churches.
Now Protestant.
Yeah. The idea is that you do not associate yourself with other custom and traditional laws. And so it began generating problems between even couples. If a wife started going to church, then she was becoming to be like, a bit, distant because they have different,
She was holy and the husband was like,
But you can imagine, to be to the point that the Gold Coast Times in 1927 had written about the story of a Christian woman who was forbidden to attend African rituals for her to be found, to be diagnosed if she had witchcraft or not. And the Gold Coast Times wrote that now do we have different laws for different people? One law for Christians and one law for pagans, right? So imagine, just 1920s, 1970s, the church was very firm. There's no witchcraft with us. But how come now in modern Ghana, churches and pastors are those pointing to witches, and us as congregants go to the church and we are stepping on the ground and we are stepping on devils? Is it not the importation of our culture into this religion? So it comes to that point that has been made that the African is notoriously religious. So that even when we adopt new religions like Islam and Christianity, we come with the extra excess luggage of our traditional religion to add it to what we have as the new religion. And this is what I can say.
I agree with you, Larry. I agree with you because, you see, that is what is happening. And in Christianity, we have something we call one-man church. Or people who call themselves pastors. They are the problem. But you go to a church like the Catholic Church, Presbyterian Church, I'm not saying they are the best, but I'm just giving you churches with laid down procedure, the administrative, things are well organized. You can't find this thing there. And you know what? One man will come and create a church here. He wants to show his spirituality. And I tell you, it's not true. Nobody should believe in them.
So you think they have also powers from people who are not Christians? Because in Ghana there has been instances where people who are traditionalists, like native doctors,
yes, they tend to be pastors.
Not even that. They have come out to say that this man of God, this pastor, he has come to me for some powers to attract congregants. If that pastor denies it, he should come publicly and deny it, and nobody comes to deny it.
It's the same thing we are saying here. But for me, I think that people want money. It's out of money and fame. And when you get fame, you get money. That's what they are doing. Because he comes and the first thing he will do is to charge the place, call somebody a witch, and then that's what people also want to hear.
Samson, is religion part of our problem?
Of course, I agree 100%. Religion is part. Actually, excuse me to say, but yes, it's just Christianity. It's so much. I'm a Christian myself, but I don't have to deny what is real. Yes, it's too much. Because you see, people even try themselves to even be spiritual. You go to a church and instead of you sitting down to communicate with your God, you see somebody speak tongues. You know this is fake, but he wants to show that he's spiritual.
Okay. let's get back to our original discussion, because if we begin to talk religion, we'll need another 2 days
Thank
in
you.
order to do that. Back to the labeling of witchcraft as nothing, as having nothing positive in it.
Yeah.
And is this perception? Does it in any way? Did it grow out of either the prevalence of Christianity or Islam?
Before then, let me accept or let me agree with you
Because,
here. That
okay, let me just clarify this.
Okay.
Because he mentioned the historical records and he talked of 1930s
Yeah,
and
that's true.
the records showing
Yeah.
some positive aspects of witchcraft and magic. And this probably, I'm putting it to you. I'm not saying that this is what it is, but I'm asking you, putting it to you as a form of a question. In addition to the negativity associated with witchcraft and magic, having anything to do with the prevalence of either Christianity and Islam, even the records coincide with when the missionaries came. So that is just before the time the missionaries came, could the positivity that these earlier historical records mentioned, could it have been an influence from what was before they came? And
to me, that's why I said I wanted to accept certain things. The fact is that when Larry says it has some positive, it depends on where you are seated. You see, it depends on where you are seated. You were saying that, like, if somebody wants to attack me spiritually and you, Larry, comes to help me, what should I say it is?
since it's in your
That is what I'm saying. It depends on wherever you are seated. But as I know witchcraft, what is positivity as witchcraft got? To do what? You should have used it to invent something. You should use it to do something we can see and say that, wow, this is beautiful.
So I'm going to interject here.
Before you interject, take you back. Before Western medicine
Came.
yeah. Who were the doctors?
Yeah, we call them native doctors. They were not witchcraft. I mean, they were not witches or wizards.
No, but they're using the powers for
No.
Please,
Please. I've never heard that a wizard has come to treat somebody. No.
Did these traditional native doctors,
Yes.
did they like at any time carry out rituals?
Yeah, they do.
Conduct sacrifices?
They do.
And so
They do.
how is that different from what you now understand as witchcraft?
Oh, no, witchcraft is not performing rituals or something. Witchcraft is witchcraft. That one is a bad spirit, from what I know.
So from what you know, I'm saying from what you know,
Yeah.
from what you know, what do witches do?
Witches operate. You see, and I'm saying this, not just what I know, but you see, the work I do proves to me that they have no positive. Look, they do people not to give birth. Is it positive? They make you mental. That is the belief of the people I'm telling you. It's not like I am just giving mental health, epilepsy. Like you can farm, and somebody is seated home, he's not farming. He comes to put witchcraft in your farm. But, so what are you talking about? I have not seen that like, oh, I've done my farming. Somebody has also farmed. I'll use my witchcraft to improve my yield and to affect. You see, that is why I'm saying that. It depends on the position you are. Because if the thing will favor you, you will tell me witchcraft has positivity. But even in favoring you, it's going to spoil something.
So there's a binary of like good spirits, gods, and bad spirits that inspire
Witchcraft, evil.
So this is the
Evil.
Let's have some two more comments, and then we can probably wrap up.
Okay.
Samson, I want you to be very empirical.
Yeah.
You've worked with a lot of women accused of witchcraft. Has anyone ever accepted voluntarily? Because there's this idea about voluntary confessions. without any captain of a ship or a vow. Has anybody ever voluntarily accepted that without any power or influence, I'm a witch, and this is what I can do to prove to you that I'm a witch?
Yeah, that
and
is.
maybe just
a wizard, sorry.
Maybe give examples of what they do.
As I said, empirics,
Well, to be honest with you, I've worked with them. I've seen many of them come to me, I'm a witch. But the evidence to show is always the problem. Honestly, I have more than 5 women as we sit. If you come, I'll send them. I'll send you to them. They'll tell you they are witches. One of them told me personally that look, she knows she has some spirit in her. She can be taken away. And when the spirit comes back, he knows the spirit has come. I'm telling you. One of them also told me she can send me to the bush. She's a witch, but she doesn't operate in the house. She operates in the bush. So you see, but one good thing, and the funny thing is also that it's just like what you were saying, they have reflected a lot. People are saying you are a witch, you are a witch, you are. If you don't take time. So that is why I'm a bit careful, and I don't want to talk about whether somebody is actually a witch or not. My purpose is to help the person.
My last comment will be, now my last comment on this would be that, I mean, you've come all the way from Gambaga to Norway, and we're trying to look for solutions. And many women are being accused of witchcraft. Whether true or not, it's not for us to judge.
Beautiful.
How do we stop the inhumane aspect of witchcraft, which is torture, which is the violence and the lynching that accompanies the accusation of her?
In fact, this is great to me. And that is the reason why I'm here. You see, we need to do a lot of advocacy. As I said, there's no way I will ever believe in my lifetime that a witch can kill me. No, because I know that. If I also get somebody to believe or to know that a witch cannot, we are doing something regular. So I will call for, proper funding to come for us to be able to educate people in their communities. And I'm saying this with an evidence. There's a community called Jawani. Jawani, when I got there in 2009, 3 years time we studied the strength. And Jawani was the community that gave us more witches or women alleged as witches. So we studied and we realized that in a year they can give us 15. So we went there and spoke to the chief and said, look, this is what we are coming to do. We are bringing you a medical doctor to tell your people how sicknesses are often. I mean, sicknesses get people and they link them to witchcraft. He agreed. He organized. The first one was he and his elders. We came there, we had a pastor, a doctor, myself and my staff. We came. The first time it was like, do we really understand what we are doing? The doctor told them all. Then when we were able to convince the immediate chief and his elders, we called for the whole community. Today, as I speak, there is no one person in the camp coming from Jawani.
So that means education.
Education!
Works.
Advocacy for the women. And we even sent, right now they came, those who were in the camp earlier, they came for all of them. And no new person has ever come.
And quite interesting because
so I'm telling you that it's possible.
It's quite easy to explain with education.
Yes.
That your farm may not produce yield because maybe there's something wrong with the soil.
Exactly.
There could be need for
and not witchcraft.
And no witchcraft.
Oh,
you could be infertile or barren because there could be a medical
a problem.
Yes. Involved.
Yes.
So these things can be explained.
Yes. Now, I said we went there with a pastor. Let me bring that aspect. He spoke about faith. Many of you say you are Christians. Normally we will study the community we are going. Whether there are many Christians or Muslims, then we know what the antidote very well. He told them, you say you are Christians, and you sleep and dream, and say that somebody is chasing you to kill you. Then you are not a Christian. Be honest that you are not. Because if you are a Christian, God has given you the power to pray to prevent that. Then why do you now go to tell somebody He's the one. You know, we looked at it critically before. And it has worked, my brother.
They will remain that. If you're a Muslim, there are things that you can do also to secure.
That is why I told you earlier that I was seeking to meet the national chief imam. You know what I want to do? Unless I meet him.
No
because I have been underground.
And Larry has promised.
Yes. You know, I have been underground. I have been to communities where they are Muslims. I mean, they don't even believe in their Quran.
That's what I'm saying, that mixture happens there, right?
Yes, but you see, they also believe so much, or let me not say they trust in the national chief imam so much. So if he can give me like a letter written by him, signed by him, I go to this community, I will see the one who is the imam of the community, who prays, who leads them to pray.
Or you can do a video of him, he would gladly do that.
Not even, yes, that is another thing you have given to me, which I think is laudable. But what I want is that this is a letter written by the national chief imam, directing you what to do if there's a witchcraft case among you people. When you say you are Muslims, well, if you believe that you are traditionalists, that one I don't have a problem. But in any way, we also went to one chief who told us that the traditional people, they have a way of sacking a witch. You don't need to go and accuse even somebody. That's why I was telling you that it depends on the position you are. Somebody say, I will take the witchcraft into me to protect my home.
Okay, so basically what it means is there is need for synergy. Like
Yes,
working together.
there's a solution. But it is funding, my brother.
One last question, and this also, Larry can also respond to this. Because we're talking of 88 people in the country.
Yeah.
Like over 90% of them being women.
99.
99%.
What about for, so how does power relation come into play? Because it's mostly women that get accused of being witches and really men. So how does power relation?
So, I mean, I should make this point based on my research that if you are a woman with a breast, you stand 90% chance of being accused as a witch. One, it has to do with traditional belief that women do not have access to certain resources, like land, for example, right? So that makes them vulnerable. It means that they have to always be at the mercy of providers, like a husband who gives her a shelter and a place to sleep, so that she is always worshipping him and she cannot challenge him, because the moment he backs, she will have no place to sleep.
So vulnerability.
Vulnerability. And that also relates to the power, because if she has the resources to acquire a piece of land, the community will not sell it to her.
No.
She has to get it through her son or her uncle or any other man. That is what. And that makes it easier for them to also be deceived or cheated. Imagine you ask somebody, a man, to go get a land for you. He does it in his name. Is it not easy for him to dispossess you of that land since it is legally in his name?
And it is even possible for such a person, if they are greedy enough to accuse you of being a witch and get you ejected or lynched.
So this is traditional, because this doesn't apply in whole of Ghana. It's only some parts in the northern region, especially where we're talking about like Gambaga and the areas where we have a lot of these cases. And then the second or the last issue I will just talk on is the perceived lack of physical strength. And I don't know if one way to do is to start teaching our kids and daughters martial arts and self-defense. So that if a dude comes to you and starts saying that you are this and that, you have the basic first aid toolkit of self-defense to seek a way to run away and seek you for your own protection, right?
Basically, just the perception that you are capable of taking care of yourself is enough deterrence.
Yes.
Just like in
and that is what the woman said. I asked one of the ladies there, why don't we have men witches or wizards? Do you know what she said? Huh? The men, they are those who even eat people's meat. I mean, they are those who are even more wicked when it comes to the kingdom of witchcraft. So it means that the men are even more or more stern than women in witchcraft. But the women are suffering more in our physical
Because
world
they're vulnerable.
because they are vulnerable and they cannot defend
They
themselves.
cannot defend themselves.
And
Good.
so these are things that, and we need laws of affirmative action laws. Apart from that, we need practical things and initiatives. Like what I think, I will have to teach my daughter some martial arts one day, you know?
Okay. Maybe to just add and then we'll conclude.
Yeah.
You see, these women too, they are their own enemies because of where, or as a result of where they have found themselves. You are a man, you can marry more than 3. Then they will begin to hate each other.
Competition for the
Somebody's
resources.
son or child will go and sleep, and the woman will tell the child, early in the morning, cry that you are hurt, and tell your dad that you have seen this other woman. What is that? You see, these are the things they do.
And I think sometimes in such cases it could be because the resources are limited.
Yes,
Competition is
reverie.
So it could be some kind of survival.
That's what I'm saying, reverie.
Yeah.
Others too. My mother has given birth to me to a point that she's now old. Instead of me to take care of her, because I have nothing, I'll tell my son, hey, say it is mother who is bewitching you. A lot of cases in Gambaga where you can see that the direct son, no, not like somebody has sucked the mother.
That is in order to escape responsibility.
Yes.
That is what I mean.
Poverty, maybe.
Poverty.
So there is need to tackle poverty. There is need to.
Then the final one I can say is that some of the women, to me personally, I feel bad for them. Because sometimes you will see that he doesn't know what he's doing.
Same here.
You have seen that this man do not love you. And then you will still force yourself. And at the end of the day, what will he do? He looks for a younger one. And because you will get angry that your husband has gone to pick the younger one. The end result is that you are a witch.
Okay. So
Thank you.
there's an interplay of a number of things.
Yes, Larry has
It's a
listened some.
complicated.
Just
It's
listening
a
some to you.
complicated matter.
Yes.
Thank you, viewers.
Thank you.
Thank you so much. We've taken so much time, but it was an interesting conversation. Quite passionate.
Thank you for coming all the way from Accra
From
to
Accra.
Jerusalem.
Yes.
I'm very excited to
Yes.
have you here.
Yes.
Thank you.
Yes.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
I think another time God will give us.
Stay tuned for more fascinating and educative discussions and insights.
Thank you.
God bless you.
Yes.
Cheers.